This time, I'd like to call to order the Franklin County Board of Commissioners General Session. Today is September 24th, 2024. Let's begin with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Crawley.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'm laughing because I was thinking about the time Commissioner Crawley turned to me and said, "Can you slow down?" So I don't know.
People wasn't even out of their chairs yet.
Right. Right. Come on. All right, let's get this. All right, is there approval of the minutes for September 5th, September 12th, September 12th, 2024 briefing sessions, and the September 10th, 2024 general session?
I move to approve the minutes.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Thank you. The minutes have been approved.
Great. As a reminder, this is a public meeting. It's being recorded. If you're calling in, please ensure that your line is muted. Let's begin with the Court of Common Pleas.
Resolution number 72524, resolution to approve a supplemental contract with MNJ Technologies Direct Incorporated to provide digital docket display signage in the amount of $76,300.
Good morning, Susan Bedsel, Deputy Court Director. I also have with me Andrew Byerly, our IT Director. As noted, this resolution approves the supplemental contract for digital docket display signage. As part of the court's continuing dedication to access to justice, these display signs are located throughout our courthouse, next to each courtroom, at all of the entryways. They provide the court participants with case information, courtroom location, and any other pertinent information that is helpful to assist our participants in finding where they need to go or where something is being held. This engagement will commence this month and conclude in September of 2025. Pending any questions, we would request approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 72524.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution 72524 has been adopted.
Thank you. Domestic Relations.
Thank you.
Resolution 72624, resolution authorizing a supplemental appropriation in the Special Foods Fund to support program operations.
Good morning, Commissioners. Barb Reeves, Deputy Director. This resolution is requesting the approval of a supplemental appropriation in the amount of $69,000 for special foods. These funds are received from the Ohio Department of Education for breakfast, lunch, and the snack program for meals served in our Juvenile Intervention Center. Pending any questions, the court requests the approval of this resolution.
Thank you. If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 72624.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 72624 has been adopted.
Thank you. Next.
Resolution number 72724, resolution authorizing a first contract extension with Action for Children for parenting seminars in the amount of $45,623.40.
This resolution is for a one-year contract extension with Action for Children to provide parenting classes for individuals seeking divorce, legal separation, annulment, or the allocation of parental rights. This contract was originally bid through the Purchasing Department in 2023. Pending any questions, the court requests the approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 72724.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution 72724 has been adopted. Resolution number 72824, resolution authorizing a maintenance agreement with Sadler-NeCamp Financial Services Incorporated, doing business as PROWARE, in the amount of $353,140.
This last resolution is requesting the approval of a 5-year agreement with Sadler-NeCamp Financial Services to provide software maintenance to the court's juvenile justice information system. Pending any questions, the court requests the approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 72824.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution 72824 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Auditor.
Resolution 72924, resolution authorizing a third amendment to the contract with Hoover Blanket Incorporated, doing business as Main Street Computing for the provision of dog licensing software in the amount of $54,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Trenton Weaver, Director of Consumer Services for Auditor Michael Stinziano. In May of 2020, the board authorized a contract with Hoover Blanket Inc., doing business as Main Street Computing, or MSC, for the implementation of a new dog licensing system. In advance of the upcoming licensing season, which begins December 1st, we seek to amend that contract with MSC to allow for enhancements to the system that would provide a better user experience for both residents and auditor staff. These enhancements will result in greater accuracy, smoother workflow, and more efficient usage of staff time, as well as improve the overall registration experience for dog owners. Pending any questions, we recommend passage of this resolution. Thank you.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 729-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution 72924 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Corner.
Resolution number 73024, resolution authorizing a supplemental contract with MNJ Technologies Incorporated for the purchase of toxicology equipment utilizing awarded American Rescue Plan Act grant funds in the amount of $107,790.34.
Good morning, Commissioners. Patrick McLean with the Office of Franklin County Coroner, Dr. Nathaniel Obermeyer. Breast chromatograph mass spectrometers are essential analytical instruments used to screen and quantify drugs in the forensic toxicology lab. GCMS results used as forensic evidence to support the determination of deaths attributed to these chemicals are of critical importance. The proposed acquisition of an additional GCMS system utilizing ARPA funds at GSA contract pricing will increase forensic toxicology testing capacity, improve process efficiency, help us continue to move our cases quickly through our testing processes. This equipment will enable the Franklin County Coroner's Office Forensic Toxicology Lab, provide better service to Franklin County citizens, law enforcement, and public health officials. I'm happy to take any questions, and I would respectfully request approval. Thank you.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 730-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution
Thank you.
73024 has been adopted.
Yep. Engineer?
Resolution number 73124, report third of the Franklin County Engineer establishing sums of compensation for a portion of the owners of property abutting the Renner Road, County Road number 27, from Alton and Darby Creek Road, County Road number 272, to Spindler Road, County Road number 153, Improvement Project, Norwich Township, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $38,736.50.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. Terry Pritchard, representing Brad Foster, Franklin County Engineer. This resolution seeks compensation for 5 property owners abutting the Renner Road from Fulton and Darby Creek to Spindler Improvement Project. The Franklin County Improvement District project is funded by OPWC and private development dollars located in Norwich Township. It seeks to improve Renner Road with the addition of a two-way left turn lane, drainage upgrades, and pedestrian infrastructure. The project also replaces the structure over Clovergrove Run. We negotiated with the property owners, and compensation is based on appraised fair market value. Pending any questions, I would ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 731-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 73124 has been adopted. Resolution number 73224, report 7th of the Franklin County Engineer establishing sums of compensation for a portion of the owners of property abutting the Reynoldsburg New Albany Road, County Road number 6 at Havens Road, Township Road number 203, Improvement Project, Jefferson Township, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $109,350.
Commissioners, this resolution seeks compensation for 1 property owner abutting the Reynoldsburg New Albany at Havens Road Improvement Project in Jefferson Township. The project upgraded the existing stop-controlled intersection with a modern roundabout and widened the bridge on Havens Road over Blacklick Creek. This matter was previously referred to the prosecutor's office after initial negotiations on compensation were unsuccessful. However, since that time, a settlement has been reached. Pending any questions, I would ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 73224.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 73224 has been adopted. Resolution number 73324, resolution approving street, storm sewer, and water improvement plans for Woodland Preserve, Jefferson Township, Franklin County, Ohio.
This resolution seeks the approval of the street, storm, and water improvement plans for the Woodland Preserve subdivision located in Jefferson Township. Approval of this resolution allows the developer to begin installing the necessary infrastructure for the development of this subdivision. Pending any questions, I ask for your approval.
That's one quick question. This is to the clerk. So this is Resolution 733, as in like 3-0?
Like the Steelers.
Yeah, okay, because I was just trying to like make sure I get the connection, so
I
like.
thought this was an equal opportunity employer that we had here.
I simply asked the question.
So I'm
Clerk.
just
I-
confused
Madam
why, I'm just, taking a step back today.
Madam Clerk, I simply asked a question. I don't know, Commissioner Crawley, would you know the answer to that? I mean, it's 733, and it's something about 3, like 3 and 0 that something that I'm trying to figure out.
And the Bengals are, what, 0-3?
0-3.
Yeah, I mean, that's right, so that's what it is. Okay, I'm sorry. You please continue. I got it now. Actually, I'm not. I can continue now if you want me to. I can continue, so I'm trying to move on, but nobody will let me, so
I
just
mean,
keep
I
on
love
messing.
The lightheartedness, and especially since
It's hard
Brady is gone.
it's hard being a Browns fan and the only Browns fan up here. But poor
Right.
You are
Melissa.
not the only one.
What is their score? I mean, what is their record?
It's terrible, probably,
nobody
yeah.
cares.
But, I
Yeah.
have feelings too.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay. Well, if there are no additional comments or questions that are relevant to the Steelers,
I think that was very relevant. I
Right.
think it was a
Well,
very relevant
well,
exchange.
that's what I'm
For,
saying,
for
relevant to
those
the
who
Steelers.
didn't know, the people need to know
They do.
these things. So,
yeah. I move for approval of resolution 733.
Second.
24.
Go ahead, Melissa.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution 73324 has been adopted.
I was waiting on that resolution. Like, I missed the 7:30, and so then I was like, I gotta wait for 7:30. Okay, so continue,
it.
please.
Resolution 73424, resolution approving street, storm sewer, and water improvement plans for the villages at Galloway, Phase 4, Prairie Township, Franklin County, Ohio.
Commissioners, this final resolution seeks approval of the street, storm, and water improvement plans for the villages at Galloway Phase 4. This development is located in southwest Franklin County in Prairie Township. Approval of this resolution allows the developer to begin installing the necessary infrastructure for the development of the subdivision. Pending any questions, I ask your approval.
Move for approval of resolution 73424.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 73424 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day. Sheriff.
Resolution number 73524, resolution authorizing an agreement with Franklin County Job and Family Services for police protection at 3 office locations within Franklin County in the amount of $1,359,000.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. Albert Smith, Assistant Finance Director for the Sheriff's Office. This resolution authorizes an agreement with Job and Family Services to continue protective services provided by 8 deputies at 3 office locations within Franklin County. The term of the contract will be through December 31st of this year and will not exceed $1,359,000. Pending any questions, I ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of resolution 73524.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 73524 has been adopted. Resolution number 73624, resolution authorizing a supplemental appropriation within the Community Outreach Fund for a new therapy dog and associated equipment.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. Albert Smith, Assistant Finance Director for the Sheriff's Office. This resolution authorizes an agreement with Job and Family Services to continue protective services provided by 8 deputies at 3 office locations within Franklin County in the amount of $1,359,000. Pending any questions, I ask for your approval.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 73524
Commissioners, our final resolution authorizes supplemental appropriation in the amount of $15,000 for our therapy dog program. These funds will be used to purchase an additional therapy canine and needed supplies and equipment. The therapy dog fund has plenty of cash to support this request. Any questions? I ask for your approval.
There are no comments or questions. Move for approval of Resolution 73624.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 73624 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Animal control.
Resolution number 73724, resolution authorizing the acceptance of a gift from John G. Shaver in the amount of $18,907.82.
Good morning, Commissioners. April Ricardo, Assistant Director for Animal Care and Control. I'm here today to request your approval for the acceptance of the donation from John G. Shaver in the amount of $18,907.82. Pending any questions, I request your approval of this donation and resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 73724.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 73724 has been adopted.
Thank you.
All right. Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion.
Resolution number 73824, resolution authorizing a contract agreement with Purple Star Photography for photography services rendered for the second Franklin County Board of Commissioners DEI Conference in the amount of $2,000.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. Danielle DeVoice with the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. The Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion is hosting the second Franklin County Board of Commissioners Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Conference, Bridging Differences and Building Inclusive Futures on Tuesday, October 22nd and Wednesday, October 23rd. There will be 4 learning pathways which will focus on community engagement, accessibility, mental wellness, economic equity. These workshops will be interactive and actionable so participants can leverage and implement the takeaways in practical ways when they return with their partners and organizations. The conference will be documented by Purple Star Photography, a minority and woman-owned operated business that will provide photography services on both days of the Franklin County Board of Commissioners Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Conference. This event will be a catalyst for creating a more diverse, equitable, inclusive, and accessible world of work. In collaboration with community partners and organizations, we will help shape workplace policies, provide support for our new American immigrant, refugee, and disabled residents, continue to engage small and emerging businesses, and champion DEI. Pending any comments or questions, I respectfully request your approval on this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 73824.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 73824 has been adopted. Resolution number 73924, resolution authorizing an agreement with the Us Together Incorporated to implement Central Ohio's Welcoming Plan for Services and Support for Immigrants and Refugees in the amount of $251,000.
Us Together's mission is to coordinate, organize, and initiate services to refugees and immigrants through education, advocacy, support services, information, referrals, and networking opportunities to strengthen the community that we live in and promote internal understanding through intercultural exchange. In 2019, New Americans made up 26.4% of Central Ohio's population, in which New American population and the needs of New Americans continue to grow. The implementation of the Welcoming Plan will address barriers and inaccessibility for New Americans face. Desiring to create a more welcoming environment, a space of belonging, economic inclusion, educational and leadership opportunities, Us Together, along with Welcoming Cities, will implement the Welcoming City Plan, prioritizing these 5 key areas: equitable economic and workforce development, equitable education, connected, safe, and healthy communities founded on social justice, equitable access to service, resources, and ESL classes, civic engagement, government and leadership development. This agreement supports goals 1, 2, 3, and 4 of the Rise Together Poverty Blueprint. Nadia Caspin, director and co-founder of Us Together, is attending virtually with any questions you may have. Pending any questions or comments, I respectfully request your approval on this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 73924.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 73924 has been adopted. Resolution number 74024, resolution authorizing a contract agreement with Capro Limited for conference branding, marketing, and social media communications for the second Franklin County Board of Commissioners DEI Conference in the amount of $19,500.
Capro Consulting LTD is a minority and woman-owned marketing and technology business who will assist in branding, marketing, and social media communications for the upcoming Franklin County Board of Commissioners Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Conference, as mentioned in the previous resolution presented today. From local government actions to innovative nonprofit work, the conference is designed for all who are looking to learn more about how to best serve and support Franklin County's ever-changing landscape and its multitude of diverse residents. With a focus on our immigrants, refugees, seen and unseen disabilities, this event will encourage us to prioritize accessibility from the start, promote inclusiveness, and ensure everyone can experience Franklin County equitably. Pending any questions or concerns, I respectfully request approval of this resolution.
There are no comments or questions. Move for approval of Resolution 740-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution 740-24 has been adopted. Resolution number 741-24, resolution authorizing the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion to execute an agreement with Experience Columbus to boost tourism and revenue for Franklin County in the amount of $750,000.
The tourism sector fuels the economy and supports nearly 75,000 jobs in Columbus and Franklin County. This is 1 in every 15 jobs in Franklin County. Greater Columbus welcomes 49.6 million visitors each year. They directly spend $6.6 billion at local businesses. Experience Columbus's vision is to be the leading force in creating and revealing the best of Columbus experience to the world. Their mission is to sell, market, and promote the Destination Columbus experience to visitors. They are governed by a board of directors and supported by more than 900 partners who invest in the efforts of Experience Columbus and help make Greater Columbus an appealing destination by offering their services, attractions, and facilities to visitors, meeting planners, convention, delegates, and residents. Strengthening brand awareness for Columbus and Franklin County is a primary focus of Experience Columbus. They are targeting singles, families, and DEIA subcategories, LGBTQIA+, African American, Hispanic, Latino, and Asian audiences within a 250 to 500 mile radius outside of Columbus, focusing on improving the familiarity and image of the city through marketing and communication. This resolution supports goal number 1 in the Rise Together blueprint. Brian Ross, CEO of Experience Columbus, is here to offer comments. After his comments and questions, I respectfully request approval of this resolution. Brian?
Thank you. Good morning, President Boyce, Commissioner Crawley, and Team Franklin County. Honored to be here today. You heard some great numbers there. Actually, I have some updated numbers to share very quickly. The 2023 economic impact for the travel economy was, we actually had 52 million visits, $8.2 billion in direct visitor spend, 83,000 jobs, so it's actually 1 in 13 jobs now in Franklin County, and generated over $340 million in city and county tax revenue. Additionally, it saved $1,500 per year on taxes for each household in Franklin County. Now, these are some very good data points, but we can do more. And we can do more by increasing the awareness of Franklin County and Columbus. As mentioned, the investments will go towards, I'm not going to repeat the first part of what was said, but obviously targeting the singles and families and DE&I. But some of the key tactics, we're going to use paid digital, paid social, video, and unique public relations activations in marketing. The paid media drives 1.5% more visits to the city. Also, paid efforts move travelers, particularly over 500 miles, which means they come, they stay longer, and they enjoy our community more. Also, 60% of travelers who see paid digital advertising return more than once to the city and county and stay an average of 20% longer. In addition to that, as we work on awareness, convention sales, we're going to be expanding our brand presence in booth at IMAX in Las Vegas coming up in October. This is the fastest growing show in the industry. It's got global attendance of over 15,000 people. 45% of the hosted buyers control budgets over $5 million. We also hosted Trust for Insuring Educators here in October, and basically this was the executive level of 67 global trust associations. So we have the ability to bring their events back to Columbus once they had that great experience here. We're also increasing the partnership with PCMA and ASAE. Current direct visitor spend from both through 2024 is $140 million in direct visitor spend, and we have over $205 million in direct visitor spend in potential business as we're looking at that. We're also working to secure the Coalition of Black Meeting Planners. We're pursuing Black MBAs and Black engineers, as well as many other multicultural groups. We've had tremendous success this year. And then also CBUS Soul. We were able to do, with your support and attendance, so we were able to do an awareness campaign and promotion in Cincinnati at the annual music festival that they had. Also, we were able to provide local marketing and awareness and some merch for CBUS Soul Festival, which was held here in Columbus. If you have any questions?
Great work, as always. I like the focus on the inclusion element in terms of conferences. I mean, we're already, I think, off to a good start. We had the Deltas here for, I believe it was a regional, a Midwest regional conference. And those are the type of conferences that definitely expand our brand as a community of Central Ohio. And the return is just an obvious and logical return. So so this seems like a very good investment. So
well, we appreciate
great
it.
work.
And AME Church was very successful. As a matter of fact, we're looking at the Church of Nazarene now, which is close in size. And one of the main reasons is that we were able to host AME Church of that size, and we were able to get tremendous feedback on the community that we have and their experiences here. So again, it all comes back to the county and city community and the talent we have.
One thing I'm curious about is, how does our convention center compare in size to the other large cities in Ohio? So Cleveland and Cincinnati.
We're the largest.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it bigger than Cleveland's?
Yep.
Okay.
Even with their renovation. So we have in our competitive set, which is.
It's on. Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
She was asking me to speak to the mic. But
Oh, sorry. I hope I'm doing a good job. But so in our competitive set, which is Louisville, Pittsburgh, St. Louis, Kansas City, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Charlotte, Nashville, and Indianapolis, and Milwaukee, we have the 4th largest convention center. So we have a larger convention center than Nashville.
What are the other three?
So the three in front of us is Indianapolis.
Okay.
You also have, I'm sorry, not Minneapolis, but you have St. Louis is bigger than we are. And then you also have, what was the third one?
Pittsburgh?
Kansas City.
Kansas City, okay.
Kansas City, yes.
Yeah, that's interesting. I was at Cleveland this weekend. The AKs, actually. They had their Great Lakes region, something.
I think it was a cluster.
Yeah, and yeah, that. But I was their convention center just seemed so large, and I thought, is this larger than ours? But no, you're telling me no.
Nope,
Okay.
1.8 million square feet, and we have over 375,000 contiguous exhibit space.
Okay.
So
okay.
that really separates us. And then, I mean, the layout alone, I can tell you, even if there are larger convention centers, and if you want to look at aesthetics, Nashville, which was built after ours, is probably at the top. But when you talk to people that utilize our convention center, they love it because everything is on one floor. When you're moving in, moving out, you have your meeting space right across from your exhibit space. There is a couple floors there, but also where you can station all of the trucks to move in, move out, the marshalling yards, the access to 70, 71, 670. I mean, there's so many positives to our convention center as well.
Okay, that's outstanding. Yeah, I had one more question, and I lost it. remember, but okay. Yes, please, D.C. Bivens.
Joy Bivens, Deputy County Administrator, Health and Human Services. Thank you, Commissioners. Just really quick, Commissioners and Brian, one of the conversations I've been having with Experience Columbus is as folks are coming in from out of town, the opportunity to highlight businesses in the area. So if I'm from Michigan or wherever, I may not have time to get my hair done or get my nails done, or certain shops to buy certain dresses and those types of things, where we can highlight some of our small businesses working with EDP when folks are actually coming in town, because that was, we see that as being an opportunity and a need at the same time.
Yeah, that's outstanding, and you made me think of what I was, that's a great idea, and I think it's a great resource to do, and so we should definitely figure out more that we could do with that, invest in that. But you made me think of my question, which was, how are we stacking up in terms of hotel beds? I know that's been something for a very long time that we have tried to address, and we've seen a lot of progress, but how do we stack up today, given
So I would
progress?
say that when you look at our competitive set again, we have the fourth largest convention center, and our convention hotel package that supports that, we're in the bottom third.
Of hotel beds.
Yeah.
So, and-
Convention hotel beds that drive the large conventions into the convention center. We have other hotels that provide tremendous, unique experiences, but when you look at our competitors, they have the larger convention hotels that help bring the large groups in so that the other hotels also benefit.
Yeah, that's definitely a handicap. I know that we, years ago, when I started in politics in City Council, almost had no beds downtown. I mean, it was really, really low. And we worked very hard to try to build that. And credit to the county for guiding the process on the Hilton, which quite frankly is very unique. So as a side note, that's kind of my background, my professional background, that type of credit structure. And it's very unique for a government entity to essentially own the underlying debt on a hotel. And so I think we're doing the things that I remember years ago, the city was completely averse to investing, using its credit to serve as an underlying source for the debt service. And there was one person that was, quite frankly, of that perspective. And so now the city is part of the Hilton 2 expansion and that debt. And the point I'm raising is that I want the public that's listening to really understand how we think of this type of investment. This isn't just a grant for inclusion and whatnot. This is an economic development investment.
Correct.
And we are trying our best to, as the city grows, you've heard me say this 1,000 times, there's not a place in Central Ohio that doesn't have cones on the street or orange barrels on the street or cranes in the sky, and indicative in that growth is how we manage all of the components. And one of those things that we have to think strategically about, and I love this kind of exchange because it's what the public doesn't often see. And why I think, well, why would we be investing the county's credit on a hotel? And it is unusual, but it's strategic. And it's strategic, and the economic benefit is what you laid out, I think, in your opening comments. And, we've got to do more of that, quite frankly. And why I kept bringing up the comparative sets, is because we do have to compete with those. It's like any other business. It's like any other county. We've got to create an environment in Franklin County for people to live, work, and raise their family, and to not just thrive, not to just survive, but to thrive. Right. And when you do that, people will choose to live in Franklin County over Delaware County, and these are all of our friends and all that. But the reality is that what makes a community like Franklin County thrive are its people. And so
the culture
and the culture,
absolutely.
And so that competition, and that's why I'm glad you said we're in the bottom third of of hotel bed space, because that's something we got to start to think about. We're focused on affordable housing. All of those things are critical and crucial and remain our priority. But strategically, if we are going to grow our economic enterprise sources that actually protect our residents from tax increases, because those are visitors that we're able to pull funds from, that's what will keep us competitive as we grow. And I just think the work you do is at the catalyst of that. There are multiple things, but this is one of those areas that doesn't get a lot of praise as it should, but it's really a strategic investment for us. And so I love D&I. I want to credit them for this investment because the return is very, very easy to look at and very strategic. And in the big scheme of things, we've got to still address the hotel bed space. And I will add that the CODA levy is important because there's connection, because sometimes it is a matter of, when we have those large, it's getting people around and moving people around, or allowing the system to still work when there is a big convention in town. And so that's another component of this broader economic platform that we're discussing. And so I want to point that out because, again, they say, oh, you grant to, what is Experience Columbus and what is the convention center? And it's much more important and deeper than that, so.
And if I may, go ahead.
No, I was just going to make two comments real quick, and it's not about Experience Columbus. This is about our community. This is about Franklin County and the city of Columbus. That if we're not successful as a community, Experience Columbus and the Greater Columbus Sports Commission, we don't exist. So our job is to share how unique and how desirable our community is and the culture. But I'll make two quick points. First of all, our travel economy is indebted for the investment that the city and county have made in the Hilton and other travel assets, because we became a national and global destination when we were a regional destination, because we did not have the ability to host the groups that we just talked about and the groups that we have coming into the future. So that raised the profile of the community. And with that, we're trying to, point two is increase and amplify the awareness of what a great community we are. And that's going to take additional investment, but that's, again, not about Experience Columbus. That, and it's been proven, it drives residents, it drives money for development, investments in the community, it drives colleges and university attendance, it drives quality of life. I mean, I can go on and on. Actually, retirement homes, believe it or not, which now Columbus is being recognized as a place to retire. But people, if they don't know about your community and your culture, you're not even on the radar. So I apologize.
No, this was the perfect segue to my question, and I appreciate Commissioner Boyce really underscoring why we would invest or hold all the debt for Hilton 1 and half for Hilton 2, because we want people to come and stay, and when they stay, they spend their money. They go to Ohio State and check it out. They go to our National Veterans Memorial and Museum. They go to the Museum of Art. They spend their money in it. Our revenue is sales tax, right? And so we want them to continue to spend their money and have a good time here. But then you also get to see the statistics, and if you could share with us, within like 100 miles, where are people coming from? 200, I know you look at 400 miles away. Is it mostly people coming to visit their families? Is it pure tourism? Like, what does those numbers look like when we look at who's coming here?
Yeah. So the majority of our 52 million visitors, or visits, I should say, not visitors, but visits, because people visit multiple times, they come for a day trip, all right, which we are blessed with our location, but it also becomes a challenge because people can access our community within a day's drive, come in, experience all the great things we have, and go home. Our job is to try to keep them. But whether it's a day tripper or overnight tripper, the number one reason people come to Columbus is to visit friends and family. The number one, which is why we have to do a better job of making sure our residents understand all the assets that we have, particularly those that don't travel downtown, that aren't on a regular, and this is, again, goes back to link us and connectivity and all the things that we can do. So
And
as
be a more walkable city, right? Like,
Correct.
we're trying to get there, but like, and be a more walkable city. And I think, so what you see with CODA is, you know, investment in the transit supportive infrastructure. So not just, you know, we will have bus rapid transit, and more lines of, service, but sidewalks, bike paths, walkways, right? So if people are coming here for a day, yeah, like I was just in New York, like I love being in a walkable city. I moved downtown from out east, and I love being able to walk around and experience the community. So I appreciate you lifting that up. If they're here for a day to be out with their friends and family, you know, being able to, you know, see a good show or listen to a band, and then, you know, go to Short North and spend money, you know, buying souvenirs or whatever, that all matters.
And it's so
bring up a
important, if I could add to that, it's so important for folks to know that's just, our evolution in Central Ohio and in Columbus, you know, so Commissioner Crawley lives downtown, I also live downtown. And Brian lives downtown too. It's becoming a community, but I remember when no one lived downtown, when we had, you know, just hundreds of residents, and now we have thousands. And but that's by design, and I just want the folks listening to really understand, you know, how we think when we make decisions, that they are not in a vacuum. They are in the bigger scheme of what the needs are. And I can just recall when what is known as the Commons today, when City Center Mall was in that position, that place, and it was a fabulous mall, but it failed. And I remember I was on city council, and they handed the keys to city council, hey, here you have the building, goodbye. And then Macy's across the street did say, here, you have the keys, goodbye. And I remember the discussion around what we were going to do with all of these buildings. You know, the Macy's building was really old, and the city center was new-ish. You know, it had opened my senior year in high school. And back then, it was a much closer timeline. I feel like it was only open 20 years, maybe, you know, if that. I don't remember. It opened in 89, which was my senior year. And I know, right? And then it closed in
Making me feel older.
2000, right? It was new. The mall was still in very good condition, nice. And I remember we just struggled to figure out, and the point I'm making is, I want the public listening, and I thought Commissioner Crawley's point was so well said, because now it is a community, and that didn't just happen by chance. And so when, whether we're talking about a CODA levy, or we're talking about housing, or we're talking about walkable communities and bike lanes and things like that, it all seems like extras, but it's not. It is really investment in a live, work, play kind of mentality that allows people to thrive and live here. And like I said, I mean, a few years ago, you wouldn't have had 2 commissioners out of 3 that live downtown, and you know, there's so many people live downtown. And I'm like you, I absolutely love it. And I'm downtown. I'm a downtowner. You know, it's just the way it is for me for the rest of my life. But I mean, this is not by accident. So I just want folks to think for a second about these type of investments, because that's what they are, investments. And Commissioner Crawley brought up something too, the debt on the Hilton. Again, I don't want folks to overlook that. That is so unique. And whenever people come to town, I always point out, you know, the county owns the debt on the hotel and makes it an owner, because if it defaulted, and that's serious. That's serious economic development going on, because it is big thinking. And when Hilton 2.0 came on, which we're all a part of, you know, we have to make strategic decisions, because on one hand, there are great needs in this community, but we try to invest in things that generate revenue too. And I know we've got some business leaders here, and they know, you know, you know, I see Jeff in the background, he'll be up in business leaders here that, you know, they know at the end of the day, you focus on the things that generate revenue. You focus on, if I'm doing something and that generates revenue, then I'm going to put more money. I want to do more of that. And that's why this relationship is so important.
And I know people are probably like, why are we belaboring this? We don't have these opportunities to really
Right.
hone in on why we make
I'll
the
come back
decisions.
anytime.
Right. But like when we think about like P3s, right, or public-private partnerships, Hilton 1, it was just the county. And then we became a validator for Hilton 2. So then you get
well
the
said.
city coming
So well
in
said.
like, oh, okay, well, they did it. And we see how that worked, and then it becomes a model for other governments to look at us. I mean, that's why you have what we hear, the Columbus Way, and, how we can collaborate. It's not always public-private partnerships. Sometimes it's intergovernmental or intragovernmental, where one has to be a validator, then you have another municipality coming in and say, okay, I see that this worked. But now, since it is unique, you might see another county or another municipality, like Franklin County did something unique and it's driving economic development. We can do the same thing. So we are a national model, period. I think we have the best county in the country, hands down. It's Franklin County against everyone else. But because I think we're very innovative. Yeah. We're about progress, excellence, and service. And it's not just that we create a Franklin County that everyone wants to live, work, and play in, but we want that in other counties too. That's why we're part of NACO. That's why we're so engaged with our other counties, and we exchange ideas and best practices. And so people get to see what we're doing here and replicate it in other places. As we've traveled to see best practices in other places, as great as we think we are, we can do better.
Yeah,
and we
absolutely.
go and we borrow other ideas and implement them right here. And we want people to do the same thing somewhere else. So thank you, Commissioner Boyce, for starting the conversation to educate our community about how we think about spending our dollars, their dollars, our dollars. And it's really always an investment. And our ROI, is tangible.
Yeah. Right now, with the investment into the organization and then the sales tax that's generated, it's 56 cents on every dollar directly back into the sales tax. That's not with, household income, direct visitor spend, supportive law, small businesses, raising the profile of our community, all those other things. Two quick points, if you don't mind, because you guys were touching on some wonderful things. First, you do need to be applauded as the city and county together for sure, because a couple of cities have tried this and failed, okay? We've tried it and been successful, so we are that sort of that best practice out there. Baltimore is a perfect example of this.
Hey, man, that's my client.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't know that.
Sorry.
They're also, what, 1 and 2? Anyhow, and then also bringing visitors in.
I'm sorry, I got to interject in there because it is so important. And I only say that because, in investment banking, that's my client. And the hotel deals were my deals. I worked on it. And the point is, it is a very complex structure.
It is.
And it is a very, hotels, as investments go, are very sensitive to the market. And so when you are rating the debt on those, it is a very complex debt because it's hard to get a grasp on the performance because of the volatility of the market, and hotels are very connected to that. And so sometimes if you have a community, a very mature community, like a Baltimore or a Cleveland or Columbus is not considered a mature community. It's very much an evolving community. And I say mature meaning that cities that have probably had their best days behind them. It doesn't mean they're bad cities. It just means that their trajectory of growth and different things are limited, at least in rate and trajectory. So, and I say that because, and you pointed out, you called out Baltimore, not me.
I did.
Those are, and I know that situation very, very well.
Yeah.
And so places like, and Commissioner Craw, I thought underlined it well, and I would add one thing. We are not afraid to be creative and afraid
Not
to
a
be
risk
innovative.
averse, you're not.
And, but when you do it, we also have the minds that know how to structure the debt so that there are layers to it. And if some catastrophe was to happen, bless you, if some catastrophe was to happen, they talk about the Columbus Way, there'll be a lot of entities. There are reserve funds, and there are layers of governments and that creates a little bit of a cushion. And the best example of that is during COVID, when the world was turned upside down, and we're able to draw on funds. And I don't remember if we got to that or not. The point is that it was there to do, and that creates a better credit. It creates a better ownership, and so we do have so many unique things, and it would be a travesty for us to not educate the public on this type of stuff, so that they understand how we are living here in Central Ohio. That this stuff isn't just popping up and just happening, and you got orange barrels all over the place and cranes all over the place, and it's all very thought out, strategic, and no community is perfect. There are going to be ups and downs and things that don't work and things that do, but in Central Ohio, there is a great story happening. It's not a great story to be told. It is happening, and everybody is a part of it today, and that's the beauty of it. The chapter that was written 10 years ago is, in the past. Now we're focused on the next 10 years, and it's just amazing. So,
And it's important to note, too, that the bed tax, 47% of the bed tax pays the debt on the convention center as well. So it's important why we need to grow more and more overnight visitors. Sorry, this has been way long, but I appreciate it. Like I said, I'm more happy to come back
educated
anytime.
on the hotels. Okay, great. All right. All right. You share, Bivens?
That draws in thousands every year to Central Ohio. And he's a small business person, right? I will consider you a small business unless you're, but I was a small business, small and emerging business. But even, those are the types of folks who get to benefit from these types of deals. Barbers, hairstylists, seamstress, all these folks get to benefit from this one relationship that is and Commissioner, you talked about the public-private partnership. I think that, Jeff is the only person I see in the room right now that I recognize. I think this is a model. And I think, Jeff, you have an opportunity to show others where they fit in this, where they may feel disconnected, right? Not having the same level of conversations, maybe not as engaged. This is an opportunity for them to get engaged, to experience Columbus.
So you might as well just go ahead and start walking up this way for your resolution, because she just set you up.
And I would say that Jeff's very involved in a group that Dan from our team's working with as well, with local events, to really help raise the profile and hopefully get more attendance.
All right.
Thank you. All right.
Well, if there are no additional comments or questions, we move for approval of Resolution 74124.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 74124 has been adopted.
Great.
Resolution
Thank
number
you.
74224, resolution authorizing a grant agreement with the Now Foundation for the Empowerment of Minority Small Businesses and Creatives, focusing on visual and performing arts, culinary, and fashion, in the amount of $500,000.
The Now Foundation is a nonprofit organization established in 2021 and a strategic partnership aimed at advancing the economic partnership of minority groups by providing platforms, resources, education, and skill development initiatives to empower underrepresented communities. And by combining their expertise and resources, they are committed to creating meaningful opportunities that will foster economic growth and inclusion. The programs and activities that the Now Foundation utilizes are strategically designed to create a comprehensive ecosystem of functions as an incubator for creatives. This ecosystem connects program participants with potential businesses and individual customers and provides comprehensive resources, support, and guidance to facilitate the readiness, growth, and profitability of small businesses. To date, the Now Foundation has provided opportunities to 207 small businesses in Franklin County, as well as engaged in 125 entrepreneurs in soft skills business development. The Now Foundation aims to equip small businesses with the necessary tools and expertise to navigate their development. This collaboration will facilitate the provision of essential business startup services, including access to funding resources, branding, marketing, and promotional services, as it will enhance corporate and institutional readiness, broaden access and exposure, and provide grants and scholarships. Through these strategic initiatives, the Now Foundation aims to bolster the capacity and opportunities available to minority creatives. Jeff Gillum, founder of the Now Foundation, is here with representatives to offer comments. After the remarks and pending any questions, I respectfully request your approval on this resolution. Jeff?
Good morning, Commissioners, Administrators, and Directors. Thank you for having us this morning. The last conversation, every word I heard Brian say, you guys, that conversation hit us directly. Because with the Now Foundation, it's exactly what we're doing with our people to get them ready to service the people coming into town. That's exactly building them up, creating a foundation, allowing them to participate in the economy of Columbus. As a lot of you guys know me, we've been doing these things for a long time, and the city has grown, and the city has needed things to happen. And in our foundation, we've found a need for creatives and small businesses to really get their footing, to try to find out how to do things the right way and have the exposure. You know, we're at a point now where our events and our participants, they're in front of thousands of people at the biggest venues in town. We've worked with Brian and his team numerous times to host numerous events across the city, and it's been very critical to have the funding and direction, and your support has been very helpful there. You know, our goal is to make Central Ohio and the events we have the best in the Midwest. I think we're there. I think we're bringing in thousands of people. We're part of those 52,000 visits. I think we do a lot of them, or at least some of them, excuse me, so we're really hopeful that we continue to grow that space. Today I brought a couple of my young people who are involved in the program and also work with us, Chandler James and Jasmine Horston. I want them to speak a little bit to kind of what they've done in the program and how it's benefited them as well.
Good morning. You can raise that podium up a little bit. There's a little button on your right there. There's a button.
We're on tall crew today, man.
Yeah, but you gotta get y'all together there. There you go.
Oh, you guys are high tech. Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
We're innovative.
I guess I should have told you. Jeff, I could have told you that, huh? Yeah, sorry, man, sorry. Yeah, right. You lead it all down into the right, yeah.
No worries. Well, I appreciate that. And I want to thank you guys for letting me come speak this morning. As Mr. Gilliam said, my name is Chandler James. I'm the Program Director of Operations at the Now Foundation. So I have had a personal opportunity to see our members hands-on grow through the Now Foundation, receive the access to the platforms, receive the different opportunities. I've been able to have one-on-one conversations where they've said point blank, thank you for this community, for this chance, for helping me get my business set up, putting me in a place where I can promote myself well. I won't speak too long, but I did want to talk about one of our members, Tommy Jones. She was a fashion makeup stylist, hairstylist for years. And through the Now Foundation, we were able to give her opportunities at some of our events. And now she's at a position where she is running our fashion shows. So she runs the Color of Summer and Excellence fashion shows, coordinates with all the other designers, all the models. So giving her a chance to show that she can do these kind of things and that all it takes is structuring your business, getting that confidence, getting that platform is really what we're trying to do through the Now Foundation and through what we're doing with our program. And then now I want to open up the floor for Jasmine Horston. She's one of our interns to let her speak about her experience.
Good morning. I want to say thank you as well for having me and letting me speak today. As he said, my name is Jasmine Horston. I am a Columbus native, and I have been interning for the Now Foundation. During my time as an intern, I've been able to learn how to navigate the ins and outs of the event planning and coordinating business, while also learning, while also learning the general structure of what makes it all work. Through this process, I've not only made countless connections with people, but I've been able to see firsthand the direct impact the Now Foundation has had on our community, even my family. I wanted to say that this has been a completely invaluable experience. I wanted to thank the county for all your support, and I really look forward to my future endeavors with the Now Foundation. So, thank you.
That's awesome.
If there are any questions, how do you take care?
Thank you, President Boyce. I don't have any questions. I just have some comments. Thank you for what you do last year when you were here receiving the resolution. We were talking about how I have, come to countless events, and it really is a platform for small and emerging businesses, right? They come, whether it's caterers who, have amazing foods and they have their cards out, and then they're able to get additional business and promote their service, or through the fashion show, getting other creatives and designers exposure, those are small businesses, and they struggle because it's hard to break into the market. It's hard to be seen. It's hard to get their names out there. It really takes something, and especially in the fashion industry. But we also know that the creative economy absolutely drives, Franklin County as being the third largest fashion hub in the country. Third to Los Angeles and New York. And we are still trying to tell that story. Brian, we have talked about this many times. DEI invests in Columbus Fashion Council and Columbus Fashion Alliance. I know that they have come and supported, different events for you. And so it is really a wonderful opportunity to come together and have fun and be in community, but also give exposure to small and emerging businesses. So thank you for all that you all are doing.
We appreciate it. I think that's a great thing for us as well. So.
You see, Vivian, do you have something you want to say?
No, I'm just excited about all the decisions that you all make. Thank you. You get the benefit from them.
I want to say thank you for bringing the young people to share with us their experience and the roles that they're playing for the next generation of entrepreneurial leadership. Being an entrepreneur is not just simply about being the business owner. It's about being a part of a network that supports new ideas, new products, new services. I like to say this, as a small business owner myself, what I know for sure is it's not easy to start a business, but it's easy to have a business. It's another thing to be able to sustain a business and grow in an environment. And if you can plant the seed and hope that it'll grow, and maybe there's soil and you put water on it, but there are many things that will allow for an eventual harvest of that seed. It's not just simply putting it in the dirt and putting water on it. And I think to our young people, you're a part of the ecosystem that will allow these businesses to thrive. But more importantly, you're a part of the next generation of Jeffs and others who will ensure that ideas, that products and services are able to grow. And Jeff, I want to say this to you, my friend. You give Columbus flavor. You give Columbus life. And I'm just a huge admirer of what you're able to generate and do. And Columbus has always struggled for identity. Columbus has always struggled. Cincinnati and Cleveland have always been, they're more mature cities. And they've always been what people know Ohio to be. You go out, travel across the country, say, what city do you know Ohio? They'll say Cleveland or Cincinnati. And rarely is the first city that they say Columbus. And part of that is identity, that coming to Columbus, you come here and you're like, oh, wow, this is a bigger city than I thought and imagined. But it's not just about size. It's about what happens every day in the city, the experience. It's why people move from Youngstown, Ohio, or Toledo, Ohio, or Akron, Ohio, and come and want to stay and say, well, this is a community I want to plant roots in, and I'm here, and to stay. And it's many things. It's employment opportunities, it's cost of living, it's the vibe of the community. And so you, sir, are a part of the vibe of Central Ohio. And that's so important. And it's one of those sometimes qualitative pieces of Central Ohio that gets overlooked in the economic numbers we spew out all the time. And so to me, again, this is one of those strategic investments that is a part of our bigger thinking, and I, no criticism to the board that exists here in previous years, but I'm telling you, this is the makeup of the board today that is able to
believe that.
Think big and think and really sort of see beyond the transactional element of what we do at times. And so I want to recognize Commissioner Crowley because she's definitely a thinker in that way, and I appreciate that about her. When we created the RISE Institute, we were thinking of big ideas in addressing poverty because we don't want to, as our town flourishes, we want to make sure everybody has an opportunity, that if you've got an idea or if you've got a skill or if you've got some background, that it fits in our Big Tent community. And so I just really want to thank you because you're silent, you're kind of a silent leader in a different way that people who listen, just general public, that may not go to some of the events, don't know, but you're part of that ecosystem, man. I'm serious. You're part of what gives us life and flavor here, and so just know that this resolution is your credibility is very much a part of why we can take these kind of innovative approaches to things. And so I want to encourage you in that way. Keep working with Brian. And I love that you have, and your background is banking, for those who don't know, as an investment banker too. You know, but being able to connect at a level, you understand the dynamics, and so being able to connect at this level is so important. But to the young people that you're sort of grooming, if you will, it's great that they're seeing that, because eventually this will, we will harvest what the impact is, and it will be meaningful. Central Ohio is growing, but it will be the small and medium-sized businesses that fuel that growth, I can assure you. And so what you're doing is, there is a quantitative element to it that is much more meaningful than we can document today. And so I just, again, for those who are listening, I want you to zero in on these resolutions and listen to our words of understanding just how we are thinking today, because it is a different approach.
If I could piggyback off of that real quick, and this might go to something that you might say as a follow-up. Let's be clear that if not for the Now Foundation, there would be a void in the Black cultural arts and entertainment space. It just would be. It would be. I think of all the events and who you're bringing together, and if we did not have the events, I think for Black professionals or outside of creatives, I'm just thinking about giving people different experiences. I don't know that you would have people coming from other places to be here, because I would be asking, well, what is there for me to do? What is there for me to experience or be in community with other like-minded people? There absolutely would be a void. And when I think about other demographics, there's a plethora of things for them to do all the time, to be in community with each other, for their businesses to be supported and uplifted. And so I just want to underscore what Commissioner Boyce said, and I love that, all the things that he said, that you're giving opportunities for young people to experience event planning. That's hard. It's not easy. I was at the DNC, ended up going on stage, and I was like, how the heck does this get, like, it's a whole, like, operation. I'm like, this is, it takes special people to have that gift to coordinate, and that's what happens with your events. It's not just parties or anything like that. Like, it is real event coordination in promoting these small and emerging businesses. But for people who aren't in this space, who want to come and have a good time and experience our community, if not for the Now Foundation, there absolutely would be a void here in Central Ohio.
Appreciative of the comments. I want to say one thing. I just came back from Miami last night, and I'm sitting with 50 people, right, that I know variously. And I said, I got a big event coming up here in Columbus. 10 years ago, they would have said, okay, I hear you, and kept moving. I bet you half of them will be in Columbus in 2 months now for our big black tie event. I mean, really, when they get here, to your point, Commissioner Boyce, when they get here and see the city, when they get here and actually experience it, they can't believe it. I have people from LA, from New York, they come and go, man, y'all doing this here? It's like a hidden secret. I don't want it to be a secret, but it's a hidden secret. And when they get here, and we try to make it, when they get here, they want to come back, they want to live here, and they want to be a part of this community. So I think that's a big part of what we try to strive to do as well. So I appreciate all the comments and appreciate being here.
Thanks for your work.
If there are no additional comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 741-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded.
Oh,
voting.
no, I'm sorry, 742-24.
Oh, second again.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Corrali?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 742-24 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners. Great job. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. Economic Development and Planning.
Resolution number 743-24, review of a petition to annex 6.4 acres, more or less, from Truro Township to the City of Columbus. Case number ANX-14-24.
Good morning, Commissioners. Emmanuel Torres, Assistant Director of Economic Development Planning Department. This resolution is to consider an expedited Type 2 annexation petition of 6.4 acres, more or less, from Truro Township to the City of Columbus. The area to be annexed includes address 157 and 187 McNaughton Road, and 48% of this site's perimeter is contiguous to the city of Columbus. The petition was filed by Stephen M. Griffith Jr. on behalf of the property owners Judy S. and Woodford L. Holzbacher, and the petition meets all statutory requirements outlined in Section 709.021 of the Ohio Revised Code. Pending any questions, I respectfully request the approval of this resolution.
There are no comments or questions. Move for approval of Resolution 743-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 743-24 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you. Job and Family Services?
Resolution number 744-24, resolution approving a contract amendment with Access to Interpreters LLC for interpretation and translation services in the amount of $1,800,000.
Good morning. Lost my voice that quick. Good morning, Commissioners, Chief. The Franklin County Department of Job and Family Services is committed to providing as required under Title VI of the Civil Rights Acts of 1964 to provide meaningful access to programs, information, benefits, and services to all our customers, regardless of English language proficiency. Meaningful access is achieved by eliminating communication barriers and ensuring customers can communicate effectively. Access to Interpreters was selected to provide on-site and over-the-phone interpretation services as well as translation services for our residents with limited English proficiency in June of 2022 after a competitive bid process. This amendment will support the third year of the interpretation and translation agreement permitted under the RFP. Access to Interpreters will provide services in Arabic, Nepali, Somali, Spanish, Creole French, and other languages as needed. This resolution supports goal number 6 of the Rise Together Blueprint, and pending any questions, I request your approval. You know what?
Oh, so sorry.
I didn't know how to put it down. Go ahead. Thank you. We're good. Yep. Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. If there,
I'm sorry, do you say business?
They're going to be on-site and over the phone, yes.
And all 2 interpreters at which location?
We have a number of interpreters at Northland. We have 3 or 4 at the East Center and about 3 or 4 at the West Center. So all of our opportunity centers, thank you.
and how many different languages?
I can't even begin to tell you, but on-site interpretation, we probably have about 6 languages for those interpretation services.
Okay.
Yeah. But I can provide that information to you of all the languages that we provide here in our community.
Okay, thank you. If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 744-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution 744-24 has been adopted. Resolution number 745-24, resolution approving a contract amendment with Arbor ENT LLC doing business as Equus Workforce Solutions for the Ohio Works First Work Activities, Services, and Management in the amount of $600,000.
A central component of the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families program is the emphasis on work. Adult TANF recipients, with a few exceptions, must participate in specified work activities as a condition of receiving cash assistance. In Ohio, the TANF program is known as the Ohio Works First. Currently, we partner with Arbor ENT, doing business as Equus Workforce Solutions, to administer the OWF Work Activities Program and components of the Achieve More and Prosper programs that target work-required adults. Under this amendment, Equus will continue to secure work experience sites, report weekly work participation hours, and provide various workforce development services for TANF-eligible work-required residents. This resolution supports goal number 3 of our Rise Together Blueprint Plan, and pending any questions, we request your approval of this resolution.
There are no comments or questions. Move for approval of Resolution 745-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 74524 has been adopted. Resolution number 74624, resolution approving and certifying amendments to the Franklin County Department of Job and Family Services Prevention, Retention, and Contingency Plan for the 2024-2025 biennial period.
In our last resolution this morning, Commissioners, our Prevention, Retention, and Contingency Program is intended to provide one-time emergency assistance to families to prevent them from going on public assistance, to help them stay employed, or to help them alleviate situations that threaten their health or safety, like insecure housing. Rental and housing assistance is the most common request we receive. Over the last 4+ years, we have been able to leverage from one-time federal funds like the American Rescue Plan Act and the Emergency Rental Assistance Program to help meet the growing needs of our residents. However, as those funds have been fully expended, we have prepared a number of policy changes and technical revisions to our plan. Ohio law requires that any changes considered to be significant require approval of the Franklin County Board of Commissioners to certify those changes. This year, among those substantial changes includes removing the expired PRC Plus, which was funded by CARES Act and ARPA dollars, and the PRC ERA programs that were funded by emergency rental assistance funds. Second, by reinstating the sustainability determination to ensure families and assistance groups can continue meeting the shelter obligations in later months without the need of additional emergency assistance. Also, by capping benefits available from PRC to $2,000 per family. Allowing for rehousing assistance to permit a victim of domestic violence to relocate to a contiguous county if necessary. And finally, removing the temporary housing under emergency assistance program. This resolution supports goal number 7 of our Rise Together blueprint. And pending any questions, we request your approval of this resolution.
There are no comments or questions. Move for approval of Resolution 74624.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crowley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 74624 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Justice Policy and Programs.
Resolution number 74724, resolution authorizing a subgrant award agreement with Franklin County Emergency Management and Homeland Security for the purchase of interoperability equipment under the FY 2021 Justice Assistance Grant in the amount of $37,000.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. Courtney Moats, Grants Administrator with the Office of Justice Policy and Programs. This resolution requests your approval of a subgrant award agreement to the Franklin County Emergency Management and Homeland Security Office in the amount of $37,000 to support the purchase of radio resources for local law enforcement agencies whose current radios are approaching the end of their service life. The new radios will meet current state guidelines and will be comparable to other adjacent law enforcement agencies within the county, making training and user operations more consistent and efficient. Pending any questions, we respectfully seek your approval of this resolution.
There are no comments or questions. Move for approval of Resolution 74724.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crowley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 74724 has been adopted. Resolution number 74824, resolution authorizing 2 professional service contract agreements for peer support and case management services for residents served via Safer Station in the amount of $28,512.
Commissioners, this second resolution requests your approval of 2 professional service agreements for case management and peer support services for residents served at our Safer Stations program with Antoine Chandler and Ian Ismail in the total amount of $28,512. Mr. Chandler and Ms. Ismail will screen individuals seeking treatment services, facilitate treatment placements, assist with the development of recovery support plans, and provide support through their shared lived experiences. Pending any questions, we request your approval of this resolution.
There are no comments or questions. Move for approval of Resolution 74824.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crowley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 74824 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Next is purchasing.
Resolution number 74924, resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $2,914,147.71.
Good morning, Commissioners. Megan Perry Balanier, Director of Purchasing, and I'm happy to be presenting for the first time this morning with Andrina Austin, Economic Equity Administrator for the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. This resolution requests your approval of 91 purchase orders for which the County Auditor has pre-certified available funding, and I'll turn it over to Andrina to share the supplier diversity data.
Thank you, Megan. Good morning, Commissioners and County Administrators. 5 of the purchase orders being presented are being awarded to small and emerging businesses, totaling $112,661.81. These awards are distributed as follows: 4% to small emerging businesses and 2% to women-owned businesses. Once approved, 5 agencies will provide equitable and inclusive opportunities to small businesses this week. These agencies are the Data Center, Domestic Relations and Juvenile Court, Engineer, Public Facilities Management, and the Sheriff's Department. Year-to-date, Franklin County Board of Commissioner agencies have awarded 436 purchase orders totaling $19,729,777.87. Pending any comments or questions, we respectfully request your approvals.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 74924.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 74924 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you, Board of Commissioners.
Resolution number 75024, resolution to authorize and reappoint Joe Mazzola in his official capacity as the Franklin County Board of Commissioners representative to the One Ohio Region 1 Board arising out of the National Prescription Opiate Litigation.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. Michael Ruhrman, Assistant Director of Community Appointments. This first resolution seeks to authorize and reappoint Joe Mazzola, a member in good standing in his official capacity as the Franklin County Board of Commissioners representative to the One Ohio Region 1 Board, with a term expiring September 20th, 2026. Pending any questions, we respectfully ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 75024.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 75024 has been adopted. Resolution number 75124, resolution to authorize Dr. Robert Reso as a joint reappointment representative to the One Ohio Region 1 Board arising out of the National Prescription Opiate Litigation.
Our second resolution seeks to authorize Dr. Robert Gressel, a member in good standing, as a joint reappointment representative to the One Ohio Region 1 Board, with the term expiring September 20th, 2026. Pending any questions, we respectfully ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 75124.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 75124 has been adopted. Resolution number 75224, resolution to authorize Rochelle Pride in her official capacity as the Franklin County Board of Commissioners representative to the One Ohio Region 1 Board arising out of the National Prescription Opiate Litigation.
Our final resolution seeks to authorize Director Rochelle Pride in her official capacity as the Franklin County Board of Commissioners representative to the One Ohio Region 1 Board, with the term expiring September 20th, 2026. Pending any questions, we respectfully ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 75224.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 75224 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any generalizations?
No, there are none.
Okay, that concludes our meeting. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Happy Tuesday.